Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Melinda Hart. You are watching Stamping with Hart. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up, and this is week 9 of the 12 weeks of Halloween. Today is Friday, the 13th. So Friday, October 13th, 2023. So I just really felt like today was the right day to do week 9, considering this is a Halloween series. And we're starting to wind down. So welcome. Whether you're watching live or in the replay, I would love to hear from you. Be sure to say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Today, we're going to be making some treat boxes. And I have to be done by 1:30. So we're going to do everything that we can live. And then if I need to pack it up and finish it later, that's what I will do. But I hope to have some of you hang out with me today. And then if you're watching in the replay, of course, I would love to hear from you too. So be sure to say hi if you can. And then if you're watching replay, then I will say all of the information that you will need will be in the description box below. There will be a free project sheet for today's nested treat box, but that will be available when I post the replay. So I'm a little bit behind, and I always appreciate your patience with that, but I will be sure to send out an email and all of that lovely stuff. Just check the links or the descriptions wherever you are. Okay, so we're going to sort of jump right in and talk about this. So I will say that today I really stuck to the Tricks and Treats bundle, but instead of using designer series paper, we're going to use cardstock. So I'm going to go through that. So let me go right down to the table. I'm going to take this little banner down. Okay, just a quick mention about my host code. I typically mention this in each of my videos. If you're shopping with me in October, thank all of you who shopped with me during the free shipping event. Wow, was that amazing? It was great. But if you're shopping in the month of October, if you use that host code and you spend over $50 before tax in a single order in the online store with me, you'll get a free embellishment from me in November. Okay, so let me go ahead and let's go down to the table here. All right, so here are our little characters. We have the Frankenstein, and then I actually made a bride of Frankenstein. I love her. We're going to make her live on the video today, but this is what the box looks like. This is the glow in the dark paper, by the way, for these treat boxes here. And check this out. Is that like crazy good? This is not sponsored. I shop at this chocolate place sometimes, Pink House Chocolates. It's close to where I live. And I absolutely love their products and what they make. So not sponsored. I purchased the chocolate, but I just wanted to have something fun to put in our nested treat boxes here. Same exact thing for the bride of Frankenstein here. Okay, so I'm just going to turn this around so that you can see this. A lot of heat embossing today. Got a little pumpkin in this one. All right, and then here is our little Dracula. Now the two that we're going to be making live, this one is just stamped backgrounds. Okay, and I'll go over the colors with you in just a minute. My little collars are coming up. I need to use glue dots with these. I was, of course, designing in a rush. What else is new, right? And we have another little pumpkin right here. And then if you want to keep it a little bit simpler, I did the ghost, very nice and clean. Hello, Jeanette. How are you? Thank you so much for being here live with me. So this is just a little bit of a cleaner version box, but here we have gorgeous grape and pumpkin pie. And again, some heat embossing. And then, of course, this fun glow-in-the-dark paper. And then here, the candies are actually, let's see if I can show you, a ghost and a bat. I don't know if you guys can tell that that's a bat. It's hard to tell with the lighting, but oh my gosh, just the cutest. I love this little place. But yeah, okay, so those are the boxes. Now, these two, I've showed you several times how to make these characters. So I'm not going to make those in the live today, but I wanted to show you some completed projects to give you ideas there. I'll take photos of it and I'll post the photos later. Hi, Sue. How are you? Thank you for being here. These would be cute for school parties. Jeanette, you definitely nailed it because we do have a Halloween party this year for my son at his school. So excited. I'm going to need to make 14 of them, I think. But we are going to make her. So we're going to do our best to make her today. And we're going to make the little ghost today. Okay. And I mean, this is something that I think would be fun to incorporate the kids or the grandkids or students, just depending on what you're doing there. But let's go over really super quick the products and then we'll go ahead and get into this. So these are the nested treat boxes. And I'm going to have to double check the quantity for you guys because I have more in this pack than it says comes in here. So I don't know if I stuck two together. I really have to double check that. I don't know if that's an error, but there's more than 8 boxes in here. That's all I can say. They are food safe. Okay. So those are what we're going to be putting together today. While the glow in the dark embellishments are gone, the paper is still available. Okay. So I wanted to shout this out. To activate your glow in the dark paper, it just needs to be sitting in the light and then it will glow in the dark. But if it hasn't been sitting in the light, it might not have as strong of a glow. So this is the glow in the dark 6x6 specialty paper. And that was used for all of our little characters. So the boo, the faces, all of that. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and just kind of hop in here and get started. So I'm actually going to start with the more complicated one, just in case I run out of time. You guys pretty much can guess what we do with the boo box, but if I can do both of them live with you, I will. So we're going to be using heat embossing today with our glow in the dark paper. And let me get you the pieces here. For our Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, we are using basic black, parakeet party, and basic white with our glow in the dark paper. Okay. And then what I'm going to show you, here are our pieces. So we're going to need a Frankenstein head from Tricks and Treats. We're actually going to need a Dracula head from Tricks and Treats, the die cut ones. We're going to need 2 of our haunted houses here. We're going to need just a little square, a 1-inch square. It could be longer than this. It doesn't have to be precise. You'll see why. It's basically going to be the neck. I forgot the neck on the original, but I remembered here. And then we're going to need 2 of these little flame die cuts. This is actually from, oh gosh, it's from the motorcycle set. I can't believe I don't have the name of it in front of me, but I'll have to get you the name of that. Something about Let's Ride or something ride, but I'll get you the appropriate name. And then this die cut here is actually from Something Fancy Dies. Okay. So that we're going to use that. And then here is our nested box. And here's how we're going to put our nested box together just really quickly. So I'm going to fold on all of the score lines. With these nested boxes, there's like a matte side and then a shiny side. And it's kind of hard to see with my lighting. Hopefully you can see that. So where the strips are here, that's adhesive. Okay. So the matte side is going to be the outside of your box. That means it's safe to stamp and do whatever you want to do on this part. And then I'm just going to fold these score lines in. Okay. And then we're going to assemble our box. We're going to assemble it so that the shiny side, the food safe side, is on the inside of our box. And then we're just going to assemble here. Okay. Now, once these stick, they stick. I have learned when I try to reposition it that once it's locked in, it's locked in. So just a heads up on that. But these are 2.5 inches all around. So 2.5-inch square. These fit lovely size things. Like this is going to fit more than a fun size. Like you can fit multiple fun size candies in here. It has a lot of nice space in this. Now, of course, you can use these for more than just Halloween. These would be great for Thanksgiving favors, birthday parties. These would be great for Christmas, Advent. Speaking of which, you guys, I did get my new products. I'm going to have to do that in a separate video, but I was so happy that I finally got that Rustic Christmas Advent Calendar Kit. I think they call it the Christmas countdown kit technically. So if you're looking for it, but I'll show that in a different day. All right, so what we're going to do, we have two different size squares. These are 2 1/4 inches, and these are 2 1/8 in the parakeet party. And so how am I doing on time? I will be watching time because I got to make sure 1:45 is my absolute latest that I can leave, but I'm going to aim for 1:30. Now this little divot right here where you would like slide this out if you had that nested in something, I'm going to cover it. Okay. But I don't want to have glue where the opening is. So I'm actually going to put the full glue panels on the sides, and then I'm going to leave a little space here. I'm going to cover it with the character, so we're not going to worry about it. So since I already made Frankenstein, and this is basic black cardstock, by the way, just in case you are new here. So many people stocked up on cardstock for the free shipping event. That was pretty cool. Hopefully you guys had fun shopping that, but there's still more fantastic deals and things happening in October. We have a starter kit special, the 35 and 35. You get free shipping on that. And you can actually have a choice of saving 35% off the value of the kit or adding 35% more in product to the kit, which is like amazing. So if you want more details on that, you can always reach out to me. Now on this panel, I'm going to only put the glue on the edges, the bottom, and then the middle. So I'm going to make sure that this stays without glue because we don't want it to stick to our whatever treat is going in there. But such a great suggestion about this being great for a little school thing. Absolutely. Or, you know, if you're having a get together, you know, a little Halloween party. Like I said, I set up a table for trick-or-treaters, and then we go and trick-or-treat and just leave the table of things there for as the people are going around the neighborhood. But yeah, just whatever thing you're going to do. So now that I have all of my black panels, we don't have to do anything with those. Here's where we start getting into some stamping here. So you're going to need your First to Mark ink pad. All these pieces, by the way, are in the glow in the dark paper that you just saw right here. They have like a little bit of a texture to them. Let me see. I don't know if I have scrap paper here with me. So we'll improvise. That's okay. All right. So I'm just going to use, this is an anti-static tool. We have an Additions heat embossing tool kit. I'll be using some of those items today. And then in the Tricks and Treats stamp set here, you see these little stars, the little bats. I use those, the Trick or Treat, our little ghost. I used a lot of the stamp, just about all of them. I think the only two I didn't use were these two and the tombstones, but you'll see as we go along, whatever we can manage to get done here. But I'm just going to ink up my stars with the Versamark. And my goal here is to just get the corners. So basically what we're doing here is we're just creating our own little backgrounds. These are small, so you don't have to do a ton of stamping to create a background. You know, last week I was kind of addressing the fact that we're either using up our DSP or we're down to scraps. And this size box would actually still be perfect for scraps if you do want to use your designer series paper. But I wanted to give you some different options. So part of that Additions embossing toolkit, or embossing additions, if I could always remember what it was called, is this little tray. And then we're going to be using the black heat embossing powder. So we have a set of basics and metallics. I'm going to be using basics today. We're going to be using black and white. And I cannot find my tweezers that come with this kit. So I'm just going to use my hands. It's going to be a little bit messy today. Just bear with me. Okay. All right. And then we're going to take our heat tool here and we're going to heat set this. So I'm just going to set these two things over here so I don't make a mess, hopefully. And then you have two settings on your heat tool. I'm going to just go straight to 2. All right. So, and like I said, I can't remember if I mentioned it, but this is the Parakeet Party cardstock, which is a really bright green. You could use Lemon Lime Twist, would be great. That's another color we have. You could use Granny Apple Green, which is a great Frankenstein green in my personal opinion. And then we're just going around and we're heat and embossing these stars. Okay, I don't want to burn my finger, so I'm just going to rotate. Okay, and hopefully you guys can see that's turning shiny. Just want to go all the way around, make sure you got all your stars here. It's a little bit messy. I'm not going to be too careful, but I do have a brush that you can use to brush away the little extra powder if you get extra powder on things. Now for this next one, so I don't forget, I'm going to get my trick or treat. We're going to use that. We're going to do our little sentiment with this. And then let me do my embossing anti-static powder here. And then we're going to do, I'm actually going to do, and what this does is this basically watermarks your paper. So hopefully you can see that. I'm going to stand up so I can try to get this straight, but even if it's crooked, it's okay. It's Halloween. And okay. There we go. And then we'll just focus our stars around this. If you want to stamp slightly off, you can do that too. Really fabulous bundle, I have to say. I've really enjoyed working with this and Bag of Bones, but I did make a decision today to kind of try to focus. I was mixing and matching so much, I thought I really wanted to try to focus on just this bundle today. Okay. Powder. Okay. Go. And yes, I get powder everywhere. I'm a very messy crafter. Okay. There we go. And then we'll just set this aside. We're just going to do this a couple of times so you can already see I got powder over here. So let me just take that off because I'm putting it in my tray there. Okay. I'm going to try to focus on the edges first. But you can see it's getting some of those letters too. And with this, it heat embosses pretty quickly, so you can move around pretty quick. So our little greeting is going to go opposite our little Bride of Frankenstein, but let's finish these two. So these sides, we're just going to do the edging with the stars again. So 3 of the 4 sides will just have the stars around the edge, and then 1 will have the greeting on it. And then we'll do our layers. Okay, so, and I'll show you because we still have to do our haunted house too. And we're actually going to heat emboss her hair and her face. So yeah, but let me go ahead and get my, what did I do with my stars? Here they are. Okay. And then we're just going to do our corners. There we go. I love this set. Okay. Perfect measurements too in terms of the way that these are angled. The Stampin' Up designers, they know what they're doing. I hope that you guys are enjoying this Halloween series. I know that we're winding down. Okay. And then let me just get my tray. Trying to do this so that you guys can see, but this is a little bit repetitive. I could have done some of this off camera. Okay. Most of my projects tend to have repeat patterns. Okay. I just can't help myself. All right, there we go. All right, so let's heat emboss these, and then we'll do our haunted houses. I'm going to close my ink pad too, actually. Don't be like me. Close your ink pad. All right. My Versamont needs to be re-inked too, but I actually really like this look for Halloween. All right, there's that one. We're going to do the same thing with our little ghosts, but we'll use white for the ghosts. And again, just trying to be mindful that I'm pointing that heat away from my hand. If you have your tweezers, you will not have to worry about it. All right, there are those 2 layers. All right, so for the next part, we're actually going to stamp our haunted houses, and we're going to heat emboss those too. But what we could do, just super quick, to give you guys a break on the noise, let's go ahead and add our panels. So this is our front panel with that little dip because her hair is going to cover that. So I'm going to go to the opposite side, and we'll start with our greeting here. Okay. And don't you love this combination? Oh my gosh. It's so bright. It stands out so fabulously well. And then with multi-purpose glue, you might need to hold it in place for a minute so that those corners don't peel up. Okay, so we're getting like an 1/8 inch border here between our 2 layers. Okay, and we'll pop this one on. There we go. And then let's do this one. All right, and then you do have a minute, to, if that went on a little bit crooked, but you do have a minute to straighten that out before it will set with the multi-purpose glue, which is so nice. So that's what that's looking like. Now, it's optional if you want to add all these layers, all these die cuts, but we are going to put 2 haunted houses on either side of the box here. So let's go ahead and stamp those. And they're already die cut. Now, here's what I'll say. The texture of this paper, it's like kind of a shiny. I don't know if I'm supposed to put the powder on or not, but I'm going to. So far, so good. We'll see. I'll let you know if it affects the glow. I have a little cut on my face, by the way, just under my nose, so just ignore that. Can you see? My aunt is here. Can you see me now? I just switched my camera. Okay. I think we're okay now. I'm going to switch it back down to the table. I'm sorry about that. There's something going on with my Wi-Fi, but it's been happening the last few lives. So I'm wondering if there's something else going on. Okay. So we're going to try to pick up where we left off. Jeanette, I see your question. She's saying she's new, so she doesn't understand the heating tool. She's new to stamping. So I will address that. Heat embossing is just a very different technique from typical stamping. So we'll talk about that. And just as the comments are coming in, let me know if you can see me. I'm going to go back to the table now. Here's my hand. So hopefully that's working. It looks like it is on my end. All right. So using Versamark ink is a slightly different than if you were just stamping with our regular colored inks. So if you're new to stamping, don't worry about heat embossing. This is when you start getting into techniques. You could just use whatever color ink pad you want. If you want to use Gorgeous Grape, you know, Pumpkin Pie, if you want to use black, you could just use regular ink. Don't feel like you need to heat emboss. But I'm heat embossing because it's something that I love to do, particularly for Halloween, Christmas, like as we're getting into holiday. Okay, so let's see if I can just stamp these down. Okay, but basically Versamark ink is like a watermark. It's like a sticky ink, and it's designed for heat embossed powder to stick to it, and then you set it with heat, which comes from our heat tool. And we have different types of powders that you could get. We have black, white, and clear in our basics, and then we also have metallics. And here I'm just gonna refill my black powder here for a sec. Just give me 1 minute here. Okay. But if you have any questions about heat embossing or techniques or anything like that, Jeanette, you can always reach out to me and I'd be happy to help you with that too. Okay. So I'm just going to sprinkle my powder on here now. And I'm just going to try to pick this up on the edges so that I don't mess with the ink. All right. And we have a really nice, clean haunted house image here. So I'm going to leave this one in the tray and we'll set this one first. Okay. Our glow in the dark paper has a very, very close resemblance to Very Vanilla. It's like a warm cream base, not white. Okay. This one side, and let's go ahead and do the other side. It's like magic to me. Heat embossing is always magical. It is one of my absolute favorite things to do. Okay, so there's one. My heat tool feels like it's going to slide off of my table. All right, there we go. And then let's just get our other one here. I'm going to grab that real quick. Okay. Be right there. All right, we got a really nice clean image on this one too. Sorry, I was just flicking off that powder there. So I'm just going to, again, I'm going to hold it at the edges. We're going to heat set. There we go. And so that finished look, I mean, particularly with these solid stamps where so much of it is ink, look at that. Look at the way that shines. I mean, that is fabulous. Okay, so those are our haunted houses. And now we're going to start working on our girl. Okay, so typically this face that we're going to use for her would be on the Frankenstein cutout. But we're actually going to stamp it onto our Dracula face. So instead of the Dracula face, it's going to be Frankenstein face, but on the Dracula head. Okay, if that makes any sense. Because now getting into week 9, we're getting a little bit more creative and, you know, doing some fun stuff like that. So I'm just going to put some of my powder down. Okay, and then I'm going to get my character face here. And here's what I ended up doing. And let me see if I have my... I don't know if I have my stamp cleaner here or not. Yes, I do. Hang on 1 second. I'm trying not to throw everything around. Okay. Hi, Roberta. Okay. Oh, Roberta and I are on the same wavelength. She said she's been working with these boxes too. I know. Aren't they cute? All right. So with this, what I did was, now I don't want to say that like this is what you should do. This is just me being kind of lazy. Okay, you could do this a couple of ways. You can mask this off or you put a Post-it over the hair. I actually just went right to the scar here and I just folded it. So I can't say it's going to be a perfect impression. Just push the stamp back down again and then ink it. And that's honestly how I did her face. But before I do her face, I'm going to do the hair. And the hairline is actually going to be the hairline from Dracula, okay? So, and I should probably clean this one too because I haven't used it since yesterday. So, let's just clean this one off real quick. Okay, and that's my Simply Chamois that I'm just using to clean off my stamps. Okay, so we're going to use this Dracula hairline. I'm going to go as close to the edge as I can with the hairline. Okay, so that's the first one that we want. And then we're going to do the face. And I know it's hard to tell because it's like a watermark and it's not easy to see. But I'm going to try to ink this part up. Okay. And I'm just going to try to stamp that face. Okay. Now, her mouth was a little bit low. I could see when I was stamping it, but you get the idea. All right, so let me get that powder again. And we'll do this in steps. This is how I did this originally. Now, if you just want to stick to Dracula and Frankenstein, totally fine. I'm just playing around with this a little bit. Get it by the ear. Okay. And I did notice with the face in particular, it was really hard to get that powder, like, so that it wasn't going everywhere, even with the anti-static tool. So I'm just going to take my little brush and I'm going to try to get rid of some of these little, and I'm just kind of blowing it off too as I go. And I'm trying not to get, this is a little bit better. I do want to write into Stampin' Up and see if we can get a thinner tip brush because this one is a little bit thick for what I need right now, but we're not gonna fuss too much, okay? So here, let's go ahead and heat set this part. Just want to move this powder out of the way. Don't want to accidentally heat set the powder in the canister, our little container there. All right. I really wanted to try to keep the stitching to, you know, sort of identify her as Bride of Frankenstein. All right, so we have this part, which is good. Now, the next part that we need, we're going to leave her right here, is her hair. What did I do with her hair? Here it is. Okay, so this is actually from the Something Fancy dies. It was just cut in basic black. And what I'm going to do is literally put it directly down onto the pad. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go this way. I'm going to leave myself a little space at the bottom without any ink on it. And you could do this however you want, but I'll go a little bit like long ways here. And I'm just going to push it, the whole thing, into the ink pad. I just want to get the whole thing saturated. And you can see why I need to re-ink. I've been going crazy with this, okay? So here, just want to get it nice and wet. Can you see how that looks wet? Okay, so now that we have a good amount on there, we're going to do powder on this part. Okay, so I'm just going to put powder. It's going to be the whole thing, so I don't have to worry about the anti-static tool. Okay, and then looks like I got a little fuzzy on there. Hang on, there we go. All right, and so you can see that's covered in the powder. All right, so we're going to heat set this now because she has to have her beehive. I loved how she turned out. I hope you guys like her too, but I just thought it was so adorable. All right. All right, so there's her little beehive. All right. Now, just so that you guys can follow my lead here, you can see when I put the layer here, it shows all this white. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to edge around the hairline, just the very top. So whatever you have left over, okay, and then we're going to add some more powder there. And that's going to give us that consistent look with hair. Okay. And I was trying not to get it on the face, but you know I did it. Okay. So I'm just going to see if I can pick it up here too. Okay. That's pretty good. So let's go ahead and do this part. And I'm just it's gonna reheat some of that powder, but I'm just focusing on the edge. And because it's pretty messy, I'm gonna get the back too. I'm just gonna hit the back real quick. Okay, just make sure that that's set. So now when we go to put that on, you can see that that just looks consistent. I'm sorry I got so messy with the face, you guys. I'm just running out of time. So you could do a better job with the cleaning than me. All right, but this would be the next step. So basically what we would do is I'm going to get my tear and tape here. And I'm just going to connect it. Okay. And you can connect, you know, wherever you want that to start. And now we're going to add our little flames with our multi-purpose glue. And these were meant to look more like the hair streaks, but it was like the closest dye that I could find. I'll make sure it's on the project sheet. The name, I'll make sure it's on the project sheet. Okay. And I'm just going to pick up some of this. I got some excess glue here, so just going to pick up some of it with the other side. We're going to pop these on. Okay. So hopefully those look like her hair streaks there. Just going to let that set. Okay. Now, what about the bolts? So this is optional, but this is something that I would recommend. So this is also just to keep the paper consistent. I also cut that out in the glow in the dark paper. But what we're going to do is under the bolt, this is actually the top of his head, but we're going to make it the bottom. And we're just going to kind of cut an angle here. Now you could use a circle punch, you know, whatever's easier for you dexterity wise, but I'm literally just trimming that off. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to layer this to the back of her head. So you can just make sure that it's cut to a point where all you're going to see are the bolts. Okay. And then we're going to pop that on. And if you want to add a little bit of dimension, that would actually be really cute if I put a little dimensional there. Let's see if I can do that. I have my sheet of dimensional sitting somewhere here. I knew I would find it. Okay, let's do that because I think that just having a little bit of space in between would be fun. Okay. And then I'll just save this for the next step. Okay, so I'm going to just line this up. And you know what? I might have put them, let's see if I put them too low. I want them to be right under her ears. Okay. So that looks good. And then just to give her bolts that look, I'm going to use the Pearlized Enamel FX Basics in black. Okay. So let me do that last though, so that I don't smear it and get it places. But that is essentially how you make our Bride of Frankenstein. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the next part. So here's the next part of her. This is going to be her neck, this little 1 by 1 inch square we talked about, which is also in the glow in the dark paper. And then I have a strip of basic white. It's cut 1 inch by 6 inches, and it's scored at 1.5 inches on each edge. I'm sorry, I don't know if you guys can see, I have so much powder like stuck to and in my nails. So what we're going to do is we're just going to fold this in. This is a very crude version of making a collared shirt. I'm no expert at origami. You could look this up in a more precise way, but it's scored at 1.5 inches on either end. Okay. We're just going to kind of meet it in the middle. It's okay if it's not perfect. And then we're going to take this top corner here and we're going to fold it down. And do you see how I'm holding it with my finger at the bottom? That's so that I don't go all the way to the bottom because we just want to make it look like a collared shirt. Okay. We're going to do the same exact thing on the other side. I'm just going to hold it with my finger and I'm going to start pulling it down. And you see how that starts to resemble a shirt. Okay. And then at this point, I'm just going to glue in what's going to become her neck. And so now I'll get that extra paper that I had. Or not paper, my tear and tape adhesive. And we'll just use it here. Use whatever glue you want. I'm going to put it right in the center. Okay. And then we're just going to put this in place. Now, I would say use glue dots because when I did the tear and tape, either I would need to hold it in place longer or you just need a little bit of a stronger adhesive. Seal Plus would be really good for this too. And I'm just going to put it right here on these inner corners. Okay. All right. So here's one. And then where's my other? There it is. And then for my other glue dot, we're just going to pop it right here. Okay. We're going to close that side so that it looks like a shirt. I'm not going to actually glue the collar down. I kind of want it to be dimensional. And then you can either leave it so that she has really broad shoulders or you can fold it in. So all I'm going to do is just fold this in. Okay. Fold this in. Or you could remeasure, but I actually liked the amount of dimension that this gave me when I folded it back. Okay, so on the back, I'm just going to use a little bit more tear and tape here to secure it. Doesn't have to be precise, just fold it in by the collar. Okay. And again, it's going on a treat box, right? So this can be very dimensional. We don't have to worry about postage or envelopes or anything for a little 3D project. Okay. All right, and then we're going to put this on the box. And so I'm going to put it right here-ish. And what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to rip this in half. I'm going to put this on the two sides. Okay. Hopefully you guys are still with me. I'll see if I can check in a minute. Okay, and then I'm going to put a dimensional in the middle because it's in a little bit deeper, right? Just from the fold. That should give us a good hold on this. I'll pop that down. And then we're going to put her on. Okay, and then we're going to add dimensionals to her, but we're going to stay away from the top of her hair. We're going to focus our dimensionals down here on this part. Okay, and that's so that there's no anything sticky at the top there. Okay. All right, and then I'm just going to pop her head on here. Okay. And then we're going to give her, with the Tinsel Gems 4-pack, we're going to use the green, one of the larger ones. We're going to put it right as a button on her little dress, blouse, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to put and I would always recommend just pump a little bit out before you go to your project in case it's settled and there's like a little bit of water and it gets a little squirty, you just want to get it going. And then we'll go ahead and we'll put the metal on her bolts here. Okay. And that's it. Okay, so that is how you make her and also how you make him. But just by changing the shape of the face, isn't that great? Okay, so here's the his and the hers. That's the difference there. Now, because I got to keep it moving, we're going to keep it moving. All right. And then, of course, you would want to put your chocolate in there. But that's how you make the Bride of Frankenstein. I'm so glad I got through that. All right. And just super quick is our boo box. Okay, so here's our boo box. And here are the pieces. So we're using Gorgeous Grape and we're using Pumpkin Pie for this box. 2 1/4 inch squares, 2 1/8 inch squares. You're going to need 4 of each. Okay, you're going to need 2 of our glow in the dark ghosts. You're going to need 2 glow in the dark boos. Okay, the die cut boos, all from Tricks and Treats bundle. All right. And the only stamping we're going to do is with our little ghosty right here, our little floaty ghost stamp. And then we're going to use white heat emboss instead of black for this one. You can also do clear, just depending on, the layers that you're using. Okay. All right, so those are those sides. And then for these, let's go ahead and bring in that powder. And you can always wipe it off after. Okay. And then we're going to get our little ghost stamp here, our Versamark. Oh, you guys, I forgot to put my haunted houses on my box. We're going to do that real quick before I have to leave. But don't forget your haunted houses. This is the best part. Okay. Let's be real. The Bride of Frankenstein is the best part, but it's just cool all around. Let's say that. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing 2 go sideways and 2 kind of straight up is because I want my boo to fit. And when I had them all straight up, it was a little bit tight. So you can do this however, however works for you, whatever arrangement you like. But we know that they float, so it still counts. All right, excuse my really messy piece of paper here. This is just scrap for the white since my my tray has the black powder in it right now. Okay, so this is our white heat emboss powder, Stampin' Emboss powder. The story of my life. Okay, so I'm going to pop these on. And we're also going to put our haunted house on. I have to do it. All right, so let me just get my... I must have dropped them. I really don't see them anywhere. Okay. So this is just to finish up my other box. Thank you guys for being patient with me. Okay. And I might have to finish my box without the boo die cuts because I can't find them. Isn't that cool though? I love the way that looks. Oh my gosh. I just love that so much. Okay, so that's the one box. I'm going to look for one more minute for the boos, but you can see the die cut boos go here, right in between your ghosts. All right. And let's glue these panels down at least, and then maybe I can think about where I hid them. It's crazy. Okay. All right. And let's do this side. I feel so bad. I can't find them. Okay. Well, you know what? So crazy. All right. Anyway, you could put whatever you want in here. All right, so we have these Harvest Spice marshmallows. I would put the little tag side down, or I would make my own little tag to go over it. And you can pop that in the box, or you could do the little ghost candy because it's just too cute and it matches. And you can put that in your box. I mean, but you can see how well like that fits in there. I would do like a little bit of tissue paper, maybe do a little plastic wrap on the outside if you have it. Okay. I am at a complete loss as to where those went. And yes, I do get sidetracked by things like that. Okay. What time is it? 1:36. We're doing great, you guys. Okay. Let me see if I can go back. Just looking at comments here. I'm going to go back to my to view. And I'll bring the boxes back out again. Okay. Thank you guys. I'm so glad that you like them. I'm sorry about being frozen earlier. Hi, Roxanne. She said came in late, but hello. That's okay. So happy you like it. She says so cute. Corinne shared. Thank you so much for sharing, Corinne. And she said this is cool. Okay, so let's bring them back in again. And I mean, can you even get over this hand? That's so gross. It's so gross and fabulous. The other thing that I didn't get to show you guys was they have these little circle foiled chocolates. Let me go back to this screen again. Aren't they cute? So you can fill your boxes with these too. Let me see if I can do that, and I'll show you how many you can fit in here. Just in case you like to do candy corn or chocolates or anything like that. They really are circles, aren't they? Rolling around like crazy. All right, so let's pour some in this box. Okay, now you could break these up like 3 to a pack, but you can fit a lot in there. Look at that. That's heavy, actually. But yeah, I would do like little baggies and maybe like a little tag on there, and break them up into like 3 or 4 so that, you know, not too many. We're not getting too much candy there, but let's go ahead and bring these back in again. Isn't she cool? Okay, let's see. So here's Drac. I have to put a little glue dot on him. He's undone. His shirt's coming undone. I should have done his in black for his cape. You know what I mean? I really should have. It like blends in. This is Poppy Parade in black, by the way. But let me go ahead and get Frankenstein here. Okay, so here's Frankenstein. And on Dracula, I didn't make him live, but this is just the black heat emboss with the bat trio, and then the trick or treat, just the same. Okay, so this is Poppy Parade, Glow in the Dark, and Basic Black. And then here are our two brides. Okay. And then here are our little ghosts. I'm going to do this one that was done ahead of time on the boo side. And then I'll do this one. Oh, you know what? I can't turn that one because I'll spill chocolate everywhere. So I'll just do this one face up. How about that? But that is what our little ghost should look like when you have those die cut boos there. And I know I'll find them as soon as I end this live. You know I will. But yeah, okay. So I'm sorry. I didn't realize they were not all showing up on screen. So let me do that just one more time. Okay. All right. Mary says, hi, so cute. Hi, Mary. Thank you so much for being here. The Bride of Frankenstein's monster is so cute, Mary says. I think so too, Mary. I love her. I just love how she turned out. I just think she is so super cute. And I wanted to do the haunted house on Dracula's boxes too, but I also wanted to show you guys if you just wanted to make a stamped background. But how perfect would that haunted house be on Dracula's box too? But yeah, they're such a cute little couple. And then his shirt, all the same measurements, but his shirt is in Parakeet Party. And then of course his face shape is different too. But yeah, they're super cute. Let's see. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Corinne. She says great projects. All right. I really appreciate you guys being here with me. I hope you enjoyed week 9. I'll get that project sheet out to you. And then, yeah, we'll get everything posted into the group and the replay and on email and all of that by tomorrow. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Happy Friday the 13th. Bye-bye.